All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What is going on, YouTube? We're back. Friday edition with my boy Hamwich, coming to you live from up in the East Coast, Philly. He's out there for the FanDuel Live final. Hamwich, I'll bring you in right away, brother. How are we doing? How was your travel out there? How was meeting up with our guy Boomer, the wizard himself, meeting some other people out there? How are we doing, man, on this Friday?
Yeah, man, doing great. Getting ready for the game tonight. I have Citizens Bank right outside my window. We'll be doing a single game for that. Got a 301 parking ticket today, so I got to win some money to pay that off. Did not mean to park in a handicapped spot, and was in there for 15 minutes and came out. These Philadelphians don't mess around. So $301 poor. So hopefully I can pay that off by the end of the night.
Yeah, USC, $301. I think you'll be all right. I think I think you'll be able to afford that one. But yeah, don't be parking in no handicap stalls, Hamwich. But man, enjoy the game. Should be an excellent game there. Cardinals, Phillies. I know you're going to stack that one up. You have to. It's just the nature of the beast. Seems like everyone else wants to play some of these Cardinals. It is, from what I'm looking at, the best hitting weather on the entire slate. We'll break it down like we always do for everyone. As you can see there, new graphic on the screen. Little thumbs up in the lower left. Little bell. Click that subscribe button. Get notified every time we do go live on this channel. Every one of our shows over here at SHIPITNation.com, including all the NFL stuff coming up, is going to be free right here on this channel. With that, I did mention NFL, and no better time to get in than now, right now. This bundle is going to be going away very, very quickly here. I believe it is going away after the kickoff of the first week of NFL. But $321 does get you access to the entire 6-month package for all sports, including the entire NFL season. Does run you through even the end of the Super Bowl. So $321, 321 blast off. We're going to outer space, baby. Join over here, SHIPITNation.com. NBA is right around the corner as well. And man, you're not going to want to miss these projections for NBA. So $321 there. And our partners over here at drafters.com. There is still time to get in the best ball streets here. NFL is quickly approaching, but is not here yet. There is still time to jump in the best ball streets, draft some teams. There's tons of content, tons of videos right here on this channel from our guys Title and Marley, including updated average draft rankings left and right. They update those weekly right now as they're doing drafts, as they're going through them. I know there's the $20, the main $25, I think, $20 or $25, the main contest, $300K to first. And then there is a smaller one as well. Use that code SHIPIT, get you 100% deposit bonus there. But this is a Friday baseball slate. We got 12 games on the tap. Hamwich is coming to you live from Citizens Bank Park, basically. So we're gonna hit on that. Good luck in the final, like always. There, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new, we're gonna talk pitching first, then we'll go game by game. If you guys have questions, throw them in the chat. We'll do our best to monitor those. I see some familiar faces here in chat. We got Sean V in the house, King of Smack, Toga, Dacon, Warren. What up, guys? Hit that like button. Let's do it. Let's go pitching. We got one guy all the way up at the top, 12-8, very hefty price point, but it's Mr. Spencer Strider himself. Undoubtedly has the most upside of any one of the pitchers all season long, I think. I mean, anytime you can go out there and throw 13, 14, 15 strikeouts as a possibility, he definitely deserves to be priced there. So we're going to go – let's go 8,500 and above. There's quite a bit of guys in here. A couple guys I'm going to throw out for you. Dylan Cease for sure, 35 to 40% ownership I'm seeing on him. Spencer Strider, obviously another one. He always gets ownership, but for good reason, tons of upside. Kodai Senga is going to get a little bit of ownership too against those Angels. Some other guys in here, you got Bryce Miller, you got Logan Webb, Brandon Woodruff right there, about $2,400 cheaper than Strider. Pretty loaded range at the top end here. Obviously, 12 games. There's a lot of good pitchers on the slate. Hamwich, where are you going up at the top? Because there's a couple interesting pieces up here.
Yeah, this is a great pitching slate, especially at the top. Spencer Strider, 12-8. I mean, that's a very high price tag to pay for him. I mean, he's going to have to get 40, in my opinion, to pay off his tag. And he got 38 last time out he pitched, and he was against these same Giants. Got 38 exactly against these same Giants. That was in Hotlanta with bad weather. Now he goes across the country to the West Coast. Gets to play these Giants in their ballpark, where we know that home runs are limited, damage gets limited. I think Spencer Strider is squarely in play tonight against this Giants offense. The accolades can go on and on for Spencer Strider, striking out over 35% of the batters from the right-handed side, 30% from the left-handed side. So K-prop is over 8.5. I think so. Spencer Strider is going to be up there for sure. I want to talk about Brandon Woodruff. I don't think many people are going to go to Brandon Woodruff just simply based on the matchup. But, man, this guy, since he's come off the IL, has been dominant in 4 of his 5 starts. 4 of his 5 starts of the season, 2 of his last 3. Done really well. And, 9 Ks his first time out, 5 Ks his second time out. Last outing was a little rough, but that was at Texas. So we know playing these Rangers on the road at home against a righty is always tough. So I have a ton of interest in Brandon Woodruff as well against this San Diego's Padre team that, to me, on the road, strike out a whole lot more against right-handed pitching, and Woodruff has been throwing very well. The next pitcher I'm interested in is going to be Dylan Cease. I love Dylan Cease. If we're going down to 8,900, he will be my SP1 on this slate compared with Spencer Strider, especially on DK. I love Spencer Strider playing this Oakland Athletics offense. Last night, Oakland's offense went off. Today, it's a little different day. Weather's different, winds blowing in as opposed to blowing out. Dylan Cease is a high strikeout pitcher. Gets to face this Oakland offense, who, honestly, we've been picking on all season. They're not any good. Cease is striking out 27% of right-handed hitters over the last 30 days. And lo and behold, the Athletics are rolling out 5 righties. So Dylan Cease would be up there for me. And then I'll let you touch on Kodai Senga. I mean, I do like him, but I'll let you speak on him. No interest in Lynn for me, and we'll talk about that later. No interest in Logan Webb for me either, and no interest in Sonny Gray facing this Rangers lineup.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. I do. I'll start with the Spencer Strider talk up at the top. I do think if you can afford him, it's Spencer Strider. I love him, but $200 away from 13K. There is a lot of good offenses. I mean, the Dodgers are one. Baltimore, I like. The Red Sox, especially the lefties. There's a lot of expensive offenses. So if you can play Spencer Strider, absolutely. I do think Spencer Strider is the SP1. Not a shocker there by any means, but it's more of a salary thing for me. I'm going to take the savings. I'm going down to Kodai Senga. Senga is actually my favorite pitcher on this slate here. Gets a really good matchup here. Also should have some run support behind him. The Mets have hit the ball a little bit as of late. So I do like Kodai Senga. If you can limit those walks, like I say all the time, I mean, he's got massive K upside. He always does. He always has the strikeout stuff. What hurts him is the walk stuff, but should get this watered down Angels lineup. Really, obviously no Trout in there. Really only has to face Ohtani. So I do like the matchup for him. I mean, these Angels striking out 24%, which is a little above league average against right-handed pitching on the road. Senga, 28% strikeout rate on the year, limits hard contact. If he can keep the walks in check, I think he can be the SP1 on this slate. Pretty good projection. I'm seeing right around 25 to 30% ownership, which I think is fine. For the most part, ownership is pretty much spread out at the pitcher position from what I'm seeing. Dylan Cease, obviously, is going to be the chalk of the slate. Anytime a pitcher is going up against Oakland, they're usually pretty chalky, if not one of the chalkiest on the slate. Just 8,900 for him. I think he's fine, but he does struggle against lefties. So basically about half that lineup. Obviously, it's a 5 righty, 4 lefty lineup that these Athletics have rolled out. But the 4 lefties in here are pretty solid. Seth Brown, Noda, outside of Tony Kemp. But Lawrence Butler's been really good. Low strikeouts, a lot of power. I like him as a leverage play once we're going to talk about bats. And looking at the last 30-day numbers here for Cease, just a 16% strikeout rate to the left side of the plate. Gives up a ton of power as well. So Cease overall, I mean, he's not a ground ball pitcher. So, I mean, if these Athletics, they just did it last night. I mean, Cease, I think he's firmly in play. I know you like him quite a bit, but he is going to be the chalkiest, one of the chalkiest pitchers on the slate from what I'm seeing, as well as the White Sox bats as well. So I think people do just pair them together, play Cease and play the White Sox with him. So I think he's fine. I personally don't have a ton of interest in him because I do like Kodai Senga. And then Brandon Woodruff's my other guy up here. I think he goes overlooked. If you don't have the salary to get up to Spencer Strider, I think you can go right with Brandon Woodruff. I mean, he's been incredible since he's returned from the IL. I'm excited. He should help our Brewers a little bit, or my Brewers, I should say, a little bit here, leading down to the stretch. Obviously, they're in a pretty weak conference here, or pretty weak division, not conference, excuse me. I think he's a great option. I'm seeing pretty low ownership on him as well. He does have the third best strikeout rate on the season of all the starting pitchers out here. So do think, I mean, not the greatest strikeout matchup against San Diego, but Woodruff's been elite. He's good at home. I think it makes some sense. So ranking this top end for me, it's going to be Kodai Senga number 1. I'll go Brandon Woodruff with the savings off of Strider number 2. And then I'll go Spencer Strider number 3 when you're factoring in salary. And then Dylan Cease would be the distant 4th for me. I just don't have a ton of interest in him against these Oakland guys because I do think more and more people kind of gravitate to him at that $8,900 price point as we lead up to lock. Hamwich, go ahead and rank your top 4 at this top end, and then we will jump on the rest of the.
Yeah, I have similar pitchers, but in a little different order. I mean, Spencer Strider, I'm going to try to get him in all my lineups if I can. I'm playing on FanDuel tonight, so he's 12,000 on FanDuel, top-rated pitcher or top dollar pitcher over there. But I'm going to try to get him in all my lineups that I can. So Spencer Strider's clear number 1 for me. Number 2 would be Dylan Cease. He's a discounted 9,400 on FanDuel. Number 3 for me would be Brandon Woodruff. Kodai Senga would be number 4, and then no interest in none of those other guys. And we didn't even talk about Hunter Green. I cored Hunter Green his last time out, Nades, and it was hurtful at home, I think, against those Cardinals. And he would get 2 strikes on him, then they'd hit 1 over the fence, and it was just so tilting. And this D-backs team is striking out under 20% versus right-handed hitting at home. So no Hunter Green for me today. That would be my top 4, though.
I do want to bring up one guy, Yu Darvish, because I'm not seeing Yu Darvish get a lot of ownership here. I think he's an excellent pivot off of Dylan Cease. I did kind of overlook him. He ranks really good in our rankings over here. You save $400 going down from Dylan Cease to Yu Darvish. And these Brewers haven't struck out a ton as of late, especially at home. But there is the back half of that lineup should have some strikeout guys like Tyrone Taylor. Terang's a little strikeout happy. Willie Adames is even a little strikeout happy, right around 24%. Christian Yelich, same thing. So I don't hate Yu Darvish as a pivot. Like I said, I'd rather play Yu Darvish than play Dylan Cease, especially when you factor in the savings, the ownership discount and everything. And he does rank very well over here on our pitcher rankings. So I did glance over that, but I like all things considered there with Yu Darvish. Usually I don't play the Padres, Blake Snell, Yu Darvish, those guys when they're getting ownership. And that's the case here tonight. So they're not going to get ownership. So I have a little bit of interest, and I think he's an excellent pivot there. I did glance over that. Let's hit on the rest of the guys on the slate here. I'm going to throw a couple guys over to you that are going to get ownership here. Cutter Crawford, I think gets a little ownership just at his price point. It's a thing where I think people are going to play both sides of that game. The other guy, I mean, the one guy that I do want to bring up is Brandon Pfaadt down here, because everyone just saw last night what Merrill Kelly did to the same Cincinnati team. Now Brandon Pfaadt, 5,600, gets the same matchup. Obviously, totally different pitchers, totally different caliber of pitchers, in my opinion. A lot of people I want to go to this guy because he is 5,600. And then the other guy I want to bring up that I personally have a ton of interest in is a pretty gross pitcher overall, but he's just 5,000, and it's Mr. Cole Irvin against these Rockies outside of Coors Field. So hit on these lower guys. I'm seeing definitely hit on Brandon Pfaadt and Cole Irvin, and then Cutter Crawford, Singer. Dane Dunning, you got some other guys down here. Personally, I don't have a ton of interest outside of Irvin, like I said, but where are you going down here?
Yeah, and that was my bad. I stopped at Dylan Cease. So I actually have a ton of interest in Mitch Keller, too, at that price point. Yeah, he's $100 less than Dylan Cease. So I like Mitch Keller. He's been pitching well over the last 30 days. His last time out through 12 Ks against the Twins at home facing his Cubs, pitcher's ballpark. He's been striking out right around 30% from both sides of the plate the last 30 days. So I do want to make sure we touch on Mitch Keller because I do have interest in him. And then after that, I really don't have interest in these guys that you mentioned. I mean, Cutter Crawford, assuming that game plays, we talked a little bit about that. I mean, I have tons of interest in those Dodgers. So nothing there. This Pfaadt guy, yeah, I'm not going there. Cole Irvin, I'll leave that. I'm playing on FanDuel too, so I don't need to play these guys. But so I don't really want to touch on as it relates to DK, but 5K, I mean, he doesn't have to get, 12, 13, 14 points for him to pay off his salary. But on FanDuel, the lowest as I would go would be Mitch Keller.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Great breakdown. Down here, like I said, Cole Irvin. I do like Cole Irvin quite a bit. He's my favorite SP2 on the slate when you consider everything. I like grabbing one of those guys up at the top. Grabbing Cole Irvin because you can pretty much do whatever you want at bats. Obviously, you got Atlanta on the slate. You got the Dodgers. You got the Red Sox. There's some you got Texas, right? You got all these high-priced offenses that you can play. The Phillies, the Cardinals game, right? In that great hitting environment there, out in Philly. So I do like the savings at Cole Irvin. Yeah, it's not a sexy play by any means. He's not a huge strikeout guy, but he does get the best strikeout matchup in all of baseball right now. Is these Rockies on the road? So I do like that. I'm not doing the Brandon Pfaadt thing. I'll leave that to other people. I don't think he's going to replicate what Merrill Kelly did. I just don't think he's the same pitcher. He doesn't rank very well in our rankings either out here. So really, I mean, I only have interest in Cole Irvin down here. Really not a ton of interest in anyone else. So it's a pretty condensed overall pitching slate for me. Go ahead and give the people your top 4 pitchers on the all salaries, and then we'll go game by game.
Did you have any interest in Keller? I said something about him, but you didn't. Are you doing any Keller on DK?
I mean, 8,800. I just don't. I mean, the Chicago lineup just does not strike out. So Mitch Keller, I would rather just go down to Yu Darvish for cheaper, especially on DraftKings. I mean, Yu Darvish is $300 cheaper than Mitch Keller, $400 cheaper than Cease, in a better matchup. So I do like Yu Darvish over Mitch Keller. I really don't have any interest in Mitch Keller, but I mean, if you like Mitch Keller, it does sound like you do. I think he has been good early in the year, kind of scuffled as of late. So personally, I'm out on Mitch Keller, but I think it's definitely viable.
Okay. Yeah. So my top 4 is going to be, I mean, even price and everything is going to be the same as I mentioned a minute ago. Spencer Strider, I would try to get it on my lineups if I could. Secondly would be Dylan Cease. Third would be Brandon Woodruff, and fourth for me is going to be Kodai Senga. And then that's all that would be my only player pool on FanDuel. And then if I was going to play a lower one down there, and we didn't touch on Brady Singer, who's been really good, but it would be Cole Irvin at 5K playing these Rockies lineups. Rockies lineup, I mean, they are just god awful when they get outside of Coors, as you alluded to a minute ago.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I like Dane Dunning. I see some questions about Dane Dunning in the chat. I like Dane Dunning much better at home. I mean, the dude's got an 18% strikeout rate on the year. I think it's much worse on the road as well, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he's home road splitsy. So I actually really don't like Dane Dunning. I mean, he is up there. I mean, he's not super cheap. He's 7,400. He does still need to get some strikeouts, especially if Cole Irvin or one of these guys down, Brandon Pfaadt goes out there. Some of these guys that are $2,000 cheaper than him do get him. I mean, if Cole Irvin, Pfaadt, one of these guys down here at the lower tier, which very well could go out there and get 12, 14, 15 DraftKings points, Dane Dunning needs to probably get you 20 plus, because otherwise you're leaving $2,000 on the table that you could spend up elsewhere at some of the bats. So personally, I don't have interest in Dane Dunning, but I get the matchup. It's a matchup thing, right? The Twins, 30% strikeout rate at home against right-handed pitching. It's just Dane Dunning's not a huge strikeout guy, personally. So I'm out on him. My top 4, I'm going Senga number 1. I'll go Cole Irvin. When you consider salary, you consider price per dollar, everything like that at 5K. I do like him against the matchup. It's a matchup play for me. I'll throw Yu Darvish in there. Yu Darvish is kind of my Cease pivot there. So I do like Yu Darvish. And then I will go Brandon Woodruff, number 4. I like him as a low-owned, forgotten piece up at the top end in a pretty solid matchup. So that's going to do it for the pitchers on the slate. Again, if you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You see it there in the lower left-hand corner of the overlay. And for all you that have tuned in since we went over it, again, $321 blast-off bundle. It does get you access to the entire NFL season, NFL, NHL, NBA once it comes around, MMA, PGA, all things, all price. $321 for a 6-month package does take you through the entire NFL season, including the Super Bowl, which has massive contests for Showdown. But NFL hasn't even started yet, so we ain't going to talk Super Bowl yet. but $321 ShipItNation.com does get you access to that, including the Ship It Nation education station where Hoop and Tambo, you see it right here, went through a 4-hour process breaking down NFL, game theory, you name it. You see it up on the graphic, everything you need. You do get access to that once you do sign up. So absolutely incredible course. I've learned a lot from it. I've learned a ton from Hoop and Tambo over the years working together. And I mean, $321, you can't beat that price. Cheapest all-in price in the industry, hands down, for all sports. So love that. Let's go game by game, Hamwich. Let me scroll up here to break it down. First game I'm looking at on the slate here is that Mitch Keller game that you were talking about. Mitch Keller at home facing these Cubs. Kyle Hendricks on the mound for Chicago. Personally, I don't have a ton of interest in this game. Not seeing a ton of ownership going to it. We know what Kyle Hendricks is. Not a huge strikeout guy, going to go out there and kind of game manage. We saw you had some interest in Mitch Keller. So personally, I'm kind of off this game, but maybe some of these Pirates, they do have a decent implied run total. So do the Cubs, 4.7 for the Cubs, 4.5 for the Pirates. So pretty decent total in this one. Do you have any interest in the bats?
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, and listen to what you said. I mean, these Cubs team doesn't strike out a whole ton on the road against righties, so yeah, that may limit my exposure to Mitch Keller. But I'm not going to play any of these bats. If I would, it would be a one-off in Cody Bellinger, who can always go yard. I would be home run hunting there. So give me Cody Bellinger as a one-off potentially. And then on the other side, I mean, Kyle Hendricks, he just doesn't get blown up that often, and I'm not going to try to do it tonight with this Pirates team. So, 12 games, we always talk about it. This is one of those games where I'm off the bats outside of a one-off of Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, no, great breakdown. I'm with you. I'm going to cross this game off, but, I mean, I did just look at the weather in PNC. Not the greatest hitter's park, but it is going to be 80, slight wind blowing out, about 7 miles an hour, wind blowing out the entire game. So if you like it, you can certainly play it. Not going to be for me. And the next game might be my favorite offense on the one side. It's definitely not going to be the Rockies side. We're heading into Baltimore, Camden Yards here. It's the Colorado Rockies facing Cole Irvin. It's Kyle Freeland outside of Coors Field on the hill here. Great weather in Baltimore. I'm seeing temperatures in the 90s with some slight wind. Wind's not really a factor, but some slight wind blowing out a little bit. And I absolutely love these Baltimore Orioles tonight. They are going to get ownership, but I really don't care. Kyle Freeland's a terrible pitcher, low strikeout guy. I think he gives up a couple bombs here for sure. And you got Mr. Ryan freaking Mountcastle there against the left-handed pitcher. Where are you going in this one? Do you like the O's with me? And then Rockies, I didn't even consider the Rockies at all, but maybe you see something I don't.
Hey, the first thing I want to notice is we got a guy named Keith Hall that's in the chat watching the show today. So I like that, big Keith Hall watching the show live from Philly, baby. He said Freeland's going to shut down the O's, and I'm with Boomer, baby. Me and Boomer Sooner. Boomer and I going free money Freeland. Nades' boy, picking on Nades' boy. I'm with you, Keith Hall. And, I'm off these O's. That's my hot take of the day. I think Freeland shuts him down. I think they do better versus righties. I mean, they're outside of Mountcastle. I'm not afraid of any of these O's bats. O's stay under 5 runs tonight. No bombs, and definitely no Rockies for me. This is another cross off for me.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll tell you what. You've been hanging out with the freaking Colorado Rocky homer way too much. You must have had way too many drinks last night with our guy Boomer there. It's finally nice to see Boomer's actually tuning into one of our shows here. He didn't even freaking recognize you. He was asking where you were, and he was talking to you. So, Keith, you keep it up out there. Say hi to Pug for me, Pug. What up? If you're listening, Pug, I appreciate you, man. But yeah, I'm on the O's train, so it's going to be Boomer. It's going to be the whole Philly against me with these Orioles. I think they smash Freeland here tonight in Camden. Excellent weather. Give me them all. I mean, Adley Rutschman, I love. Ryan Mountcastle, Santander, Austin Hayes, I love. James McCann, if you can't get up to Adley, I think it's great. Smashes lefties. I love all these guys. Jordan Westberg's pretty cheap there at 3,500. You got the GOAT, Gunnar Henderson, who can actually hit lefties a little bit. He was pretty bad. Got a little bit better hitting lefty, but I don't expect Freeland to be in there very long. So it's a bet on Freeland being cheeks outside of Coors Field. I always play Freeland at home in Coors Field, but outside of Coors Field, I'm not playing Freeland. I'll leave that to Boomer and his Rockies homerism out there. So I'm on the O's. O's are my favorite stack of the night. And they're going to drop 10 spot tonight here against the Rockies, and it's going to be a tough scene out there in Philly for Mr. Keith Hall and Hamwich out there. So that's where I'm at. No interest, obviously, in the Rockies bats. I did like Cole Irvin a little bit here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the game that the entire FanDuel Live final are going to. You're going to be at this game shortly here. Citizens Bank Park, 86 degrees, wind blowing out. It is freaking the Cardinals heading into Philly to face Christopher Sanchez. Miles Mikolas on the mound, low strikeout guy for the Cardinals. Decent, an okay pitcher in Christopher Sanchez. Pretty good total here. One of the best totals of the slate. One of the best, I think it is the best hitting weather on the slate. Are you going to stack this one up? You have to. It's kind of the golden rule in DFS, right? You're going to the game, you stack it up, hope for fireworks because that's what you want anyways when you're attending the game. Where are you going in this one, Hamwich?
Yeah, I'm going to take the visitors tonight. I learned from the greatest Hoop, right? And Hoop says that these Cardinals are built for left-handed pitching, and lo and behold, we got a lefty on the hill tonight. So give me Tyler O'Neill, give me Paul Goldschmidt, give me Contreras, give me Andrew Knizer, however you pronounce his last name. Those will be my top 4 righties for the Cardinals. I like Andrew batting in the 6-hole, Contreras in the 5-hole, a little 2-3-5-6 stack on the Cardinal side. Then on the other side of the plate, or on the other side of the field, I like Kyle Schwarber tonight. I think Schwarber does take Mikolas yard, so give me some Kyle Schwarber. Give me Jake Cave batting down there in that 8-hole. Garrett Stubbs and Trey Turner is the other Philly that I like. So a little 8-9-1-2 reach around stack on the Philly side, and then the 2-3-4-5 2-3-5-6 on the Cardinal side. I'll be stacking that up. We'll be there in the suite. We got a little single game showdown that we'll be doing as well. So yeah, I'll be stacking that team up right there.
Yeah, well, we're different in this one again. I'm on the Philly side here. I'm on the home team. The Cardinals, I get it, right? Built for lefties, but man, Christopher Sanchez is a 60+% ground ball pitcher over the last 30 days to both sides of the plate. So I really hate stacking against ground ball guys. I guess if I had to pick out, let me just look at this real quick. I'd look at the fly ball hitters for St. Louis, and Andrew Knizer is he's the best fly ball guy on the team over the last month. In 19 plate appearances, got 50% fly ball rate. So I don't hate him at the catcher position. Jordan Walker is another fly ball guy, but Tyler O'Neill, Contreras, Arenado, Mater, Mason Wynn, all these guys are under 20% fly ball hitters. So ground ball pitcher against the guy that don't hit the ball in the air too often. I'm going to be under on the Cardinals side. I'm going to be over on the Phillies side. So a little bit different here. Obviously, you can play Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt's a pretty fly ball guy. Tommy Edman too as well. I think they're fine. Cardinals are definitely going to get ownership. I think they're going to get more ownership than the Phillies side. At least that's what I'm seeing now. They're going to be similar, but I'm just going to side with the home team here in the Phillies because I don't think Mikolas is any good. These Phillies over the last 30 days have crushed lefty or right-handed pitching on the back of Kyle Schwarber, on the back of Bryce Harper. Trey Turner's been good. Castellanos, Bryson Stott's been good. Jake Cave down there in the 8-hole, I think is a great play. Value guy. A little bit pinch hit risk there, but I think he's cheap enough to not matter. Can always hit a bomb. And Brandon Marsh. So I'm definitely on these Phillies much more than the Cardinals guys. It's just a bet on the worst pitcher because Sanchez is a ground ball guy. I just never really like stacking in baseball against a ground ball pitcher. Could go south for me, but hopefully it's the Phillies. Phillies scoring a touchdown or two here in this one, so you guys still get some home runs out there in Philly. Next game on the slate, we got Cleveland heading into Toronto with the roof open in Toronto to face the freaking Basset Hound himself. Tanner Beebe on the mound. Personally, I don't have a ton of interest in the Guardians side. But I want you to hit on the Blue Jays. I personally don't have a ton of interest in the Blue Jays, but they do have a 4.8 implied run total. Roof is open, so I do think some people do play these Blue Jays tonight. Personally, I'm off of this game for bats. Where are you going, Hamwich?
Yeah, what kind of ownership are you seeing on the Blue Jays? Are they one of the top 5 teams?
So, outside of the White Sox, the Dodgers, Baltimore, St. Louis, maybe Philly. But really nobody else. Ownership's going to spread on these guys. So Toronto's going to be low owned. Like I said, there's like 4 teams really that are getting concentrated ownership. The White Sox, obviously, against Oakland. Everyone gets ownership against Oakland and that pitching staff. And then obviously the Dodgers in Fenway there. Baltimore is going to get a little ownership, but yeah, really ownership's pretty spread at the bats from what I'm seeing. So if you like it, this is definitely a lower owned spot.
Yeah, I have a little bit of interest in these lefties for the Blue Jays, specifically speaking. They don't have many. So Brandon Belt in the 3-hole, Dalton Varsho in the 6-hole. I don't think I would go down to Kevin Kiermaier in the 9-hole, but if you want to get really different, I like Kiermaier can go yard as well. But I would start with 3 and 6, Belt and Varsho, and then maybe fill in 2 righties. And then on the other side, the only person I have interest in is going to be Cole Calhoun batting in the 3-hole. He hit a bomb a day or two ago against the Dodgers. He's got some power. And Bassett gives up some left-handed power. So give me Cole to get some lift on one of those balls, get it out of the yard over there in the Rogers Center tonight.
Yeah, no, great breakdown. Like I said, if you have a lean, I'm personally off this game. I don't have much interest, not even really one-offs in this game. Personally, I just like other spots. 12 games, can't play them all. This is the one I'm crossing off. But Hamwich is riding with some of these lefties for the Blue Jays. Obviously, it's more of a mini stack or a one-off because they only have 3 of them in the lineup there. Sure, can you play Vlad Guerrero, Bo Bichette, those guys? Yeah, absolutely, you can play them. But personally, I don't love it. Next game, we have my favorite pitcher on the slate, Kodai Senga, at home against these Angels without Mr. Mike Trout. Really, the only bat in the lineup that I'm scared of, Mr. Showtime himself. The dude just keeps getting it done at the plate. Absolute specimen. Obviously, he's going to be not pitching for a little bit with that injury there. But he said, hey, I still want to DH. I still want to hit bombs. That's what he does. You can always play him, but he is 6,700 here. Any interest in this one on the Angels or the Mets side? The Mets have a pretty solid implied run total at home here against Patrick Sandoval, who's a pretty low strikeout guy overall. Do you have interest in either side here, Hamwich?
Goodness gracious, that Angels lineup is just absolutely atrocious. Senga may go up my rankings a little bit just looking at that confirmed lineup. That is a horrible lineup, so definitely no interest in the Angels. And then I would only do a one-off with Pete Alonso, expected ISO close to 400 against Sandoval, who can give up some pop. So give me Pete Alonso as a one-off, and Kodai Senga going up my rankings after looking at this confirmed lineup and how much they strike.
There we go. Well, I'll tell you what, give a little mini stack, a little 4-6 mini Met stack, a little Pete Alonso, DJ Stewart. I think both of them can hit a bomb here tonight. I don't hate either one of those. I don't love the Mets as a full stack, but I do like that mini stack a little bit. Even Alvarez in there I think is fine, or Lindor, who's been very, very good at the plate. He is up to 5,100 now, but I still think that's pretty cheap. He can steal bases, can hit some power, hit some bombs. So definitely like a mini stack of the Mets here against Patrick Sandoval. Like I said, prefer Pete Alonso, DJ Stewart, but don't hate adding in Alvarez or Lindor. But next game on the slate, it's the chalkiest offense from what I'm seeing. It's the White Sox at home here against the Athletics. Zach Neal going to start here. Pretty terrible bullpen behind him as well. Obviously, one of the worst bullpens we've seen in the history of baseball. But looking at the weather here, let me just pull it up quick. 70 degrees out there in Chicago. Some wind blowing in. Not the greatest hitting conditions overall. And I'm seeing the chalkiest team on the slate. And, man, it's one of the worst It's been a pretty brutal offense overall in these White Sox. Personally, I'm going to fade this spot. I'm crossing this game off for bats here. Are you with me? Do you see something I'm missing?
Yeah, anytime I hear the words Chicago White Sox and chalk, I'm running as far away I can from the other side with what is that? With the 23 other teams to choose from. I think 2 of those 23 teams are going to outperform the White Sox tonight. So trying to get to the top in a GPP. I'm going to cross these White Sox off. I have tons of interest in Dylan Cease. So the A's are a complete cross off as well. This no one-offs would be Dylan Cease only for me in this matchup.
There we go. Finally, we're locked arm in arm. We're coming full circle, Hamwich. We might as well play the freaking tunes and dance around, skip in a circle because we're lockstep there. I'm fading these White Sox. I'm fading this game. No interest in the bats on either side here. If I went to anywhere, it'd be the Athletics against Mr. Dylan Cease, preferably the lefties. Ryan Noda, Seth Brown, Tony Kemp, Lawrence Butler. I do like Lawrence Butler a ton, especially as a one-off, 2,200. The dude, very low strikeout guy, has absolutely raked against right-handed pitching. And Dylan Cease can be prone to some home run balls there. So don't hate that. He's just 2,200 with some home run power. So don't hate that. Next game seems like one of the chalkiest games of the slate on both sides. The Dodgers, Red Sox, both going to get a ton of ownership, highest total on the board. But It is the one game that has the most weather concern out of anyone on the slate. Kevin Roth has it tagged as yellow-orange. I'm personally going to play the bats. I don't like pitching in this one anyway, so I'm not really afraid of the weather because even if there is a delay, the bats are still going to be in there. I like both sides. Dodgers, one of my favorite offenses, and then I actually put the Red Sox ahead of the Dodgers here tonight, preferably the lefties. I love the lefties here, and the Red Sox are rolling out 5 lefties against Mr. Lance Lynn. Do you like this game? Are you stacking it up? Where are you going here? Dodgers, Red Sox in Fenway.
Yeah, I think the Red Sox will be my Orioles for you. I mean, the Red Sox, my favorite stack of the night. You said it, Lance Lynn just gets absolutely bombarded by left-handed hitters. He actually has, I think he has the highest barrel rate on the slate at 10.6, even higher than my boy Hunter Green. So Yoshida, Devers, obviously, Verdugo, Tristan Cassis, I have tons of interest in all that. Adam Duvall's hit a homer in I think 3 or 4 straight games or 3 up 4 something. So they've been hot. I wouldn't get down to Reese McGuire. But that 1 through 6, I think, is all in play tonight. And then on the other side, you got these Dodgers. You got the return of Mookie. You got the return of Kiki. You got Freddie Freeman, who Cutter Crawford can't get any lefties out. So I think this game, by far and away, sails over the total. I think both of these teams outperform the O's. I think both of these teams outperform the White Sox. Full game stack for me coming in Fenway tonight. Boston back home scoring 17 runs yesterday. And they hit better in Fenway. So this game is going to be there's going to be some extra juice with Mookie coming home. So load this game up.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention 10 to 12 mile an hour winds blowing out towards the monster the whole game here. Obviously, there is a little concern here. I'm not saying it's 100% safe. Definitely check out Kevin Ross' update as we get closer to lock here. But I love both sides of this game. I love the Red Sox for sure, especially the lefties. I mean, Lance Lynn, a fly ball guy. In a short porch hitter's park there. Justin Turner's been great against right-handed pitching, so he's good. But, yeah, Verdugo, Rafael Devers is one of my favorite bats, if not my favorite bat on the entire slate. Absolutely love him at the third base position. You can afford him pretty easily. Tristan Cassis is a pivot there at first base. Again, a lot of people like to spend up at first base. Freddie Freeman, Mountcastle is going to get some ownership. You name it. Obviously, Matt Olson, Pete Alonso, a lot of top-end guys. So Tristan Castle is a little bit cheaper there at first base, I think, is a great play. Adam Duvall has been locked in over the last month. I think he's great. Pablo Reyes, I don't hate down there at the shortstop position. A low strikeout guy has some pretty good numbers, so I don't hate that either. Love the Red Sox side. And, the Dodgers. I mean, Dodgers are my Braves. Shocker. I know everyone's going to freak out. Oh, my God, Nades isn't on the Braves tonight. So sign up for the Braves because the Braves are finally going to score double-digit runs tonight because I am off them for the first time in about 3 months, it feels like. But I'm putting the Dodgers ahead of the Braves. I'm putting the Red Sox ahead of the Braves here. Obviously, I already talked about Baltimore. Dodgers 1 through 9 are firmly in play for me. Definitely love Mookie Betts as a one-off if you can afford him. I do think he picks up a little bit more steam because obviously everyone loves narratives here in the DFS streets, but for a good reason. Dodgers guaranteed 9th inning at bats against Cutter Crawford, who can get beat up pretty easily. So love both sides. I actually prefer the Red Sox a little bit more than the Dodgers side, just because I think Lance Lynn just gets barreled up here and hit around by these lefties for sure. So I love this game. Excellent spot to target for bats. Not going to be sneaky by any means, but really doesn't matter. Personally, I'm going to do it. Next game, we have the Padres heading into Milwaukee here to face my Brewers. Brandon Woodruff on the mound. Yu Darvish. I like both pitchers in this one. Personally, I'm off both the bats, but for all the BVP guys in the chat, a lot of these Brewers do have some BVP against Mr. Yu Darvish. Personally, I'm off of it. Do you see anything I'm missing?
Yeah, this game's a complete cross-off for me, and the more I dig into Brandon Woodruff, I think I'm going to be off on him just from the simple fact that these the main Padres guys, I mean, 2 through 6, they're striking out all under 20% on the road versus righties. I know the last 3 strike out a little bit more, but I'm off Woodruff. I'm off Yu Darvish, off all the bats as well. Game's a complete cross-off for me.
There we go. We're in lockstep. Games complete cross off outside of pitching for me as well. I do like the pitching a little bit there. Next game on the slate, we have the Texas Rangers not at home. They're on the road heading into Minnesota to face Sonny Gray. Dane Dunning on the mound, who's been much worse on the road, in my opinion. I don't hate some of these Twins, preferably these lefties. And then obviously the Rangers, top 3 offense in all of baseball, over top 5 for sure. Obviously the AL All-Star team was basically the Texas Rangers starting lineup. So you can always play them, I think, but it is Sonny Gray in the hill. Usually you have a good read on Sonny Gray. Do you have any interest in these Rangers? Guaranteed nothing at bats as a high-powered offense, expensive offense that I think goes slightly overlooked. They have some cheaper bats in the back half of that lineup. And then Minnesota, I'm always a sucker for some of these lefties. Julian, Max Kepler, Matt Wallner. I always have a soft spot for those guys. I don't love stacking up the Twins or 5-man stacking the Twins for sure because of all the strikeouts, but it's basically the entire lineup 1 through 9 is home run or bust, and they got some cheap salaries, so don't hate it. But where are you going in this one?
Yeah, I think that's my little sneaky snack of the day. You talked me into it earlier. Said Dane Dunning is worse on the road, and he is, and he's not a strikeout pitcher. So that means the Twins won't strike out as much. Your boy Matt Wallner is going to crush one over the right field wall tonight. Max Kepler's in play. Jorge Polanco's in play. Julian's in play. Give me these lefties, Nate, as a sneaky stack. And I think they're in the winner's circle tonight. No one's going to play them. And then on the other side, Sonny Gray is a good pitcher, all-star pitcher. So that limits my exposure to these Rangers. I mean, you could play the Rangers if you wanted to get different. They'll be unowned. But I'm going to be off the Rangers tonight. Off Sonny Gray, too, because they don't strike out enough for me. So give me these Twins. Give me these Twins lefties, and let's ride.
Yeah, Dane Dunning, definitely worse against the lefties, and that starts with Polanco, Kepler, Matt Wallner. For me, obviously you can put in Joey Gallo there, but I'm not really pushing my chips in to sign up on a guy that strikes out at 50% over the last month or so. So give me those Twins lefties a little bit. Mini stack only, 2-man one-offs. I prefer the one-offs. Matt Wallner, far and away my favorite, 3,400. I mean, the dude just continues to crush right-handed pitching, and he gets a low strikeout guy here in Dunning to go up against. So I don't hate that. And the Rangers, I like the other spots better. I think Sonny Gray is good enough pitcher to not really attack him. But I mean, I'd be failed to the show would be a failure if I didn't mention Corey Seager. The dude is on a complete utter tear right now. He continues to smash the baseball. 6,600 at the shortstop. I think he's an elite one-off. Obviously, any given slate, he's in that category. He's basically matchup proof because he smashes lefties, he smashes righties. It doesn't really matter who he's facing. He's likely going to hit in that 2-hole there. So I do like Corey Seager. But yeah, not a ton of interest overall in this one for the bats. Definitely prefer some of those Twins lefties a little bit here against Dunning.
Butthole Jenkins disagrees with us, Nate. He thinks that old Cy Dunning is going to be coming to the bump tonight and getting 10+ Ks. So we'll see. We'll see, Butthole, who prevails. But give me these lefties to dominate Dane tonight.
Yeah, a little Butthole. Hey, Butthole, if you have a sense, go ahead and play Mr. Dane Dunning because at 7,400, I don't think he's really going to get any ownership, and the Twins do still strike out. So maybe he's find some strikeout stuff. Maybe he figures it out and he could get it done. Personally, I'm not on it, but that's why we play DFS. If you have a low on spot, especially in baseball, take it and run, and hopefully you ship all the money when you do that. Next game, we're heading out to Arizona. We're freaking Brandon Pfaadt, going to be 25-ish% ownership, maybe even higher at 5,600 there. Never thought I'd see the day that Pfaadt's going to be a chalky SP2. But, man, these Reds have been absolutely terrible. Everyone said, oh, my God, the Reds are going to take out the Braves. The Reds are going to take out the Braves about a month and a half ago. And now people are signing up to play Brandon Pfaadt against the same Reds team. Tons of strikeouts, 28.5% on the road against right-handed pitching. Do get a lower strikeout guy here in Pfaadt, right around 20% on the season. Any interest in this one on either side? The D-backs do get Hunter Green. I know you brought up Hunter Green a little bit, got absolutely shelled last time out. Are these D-backs going to do it again?
Yeah, I don't think so. Not tonight. This game's another one that's a complete cross-off for me. I mean, these neither one of these teams, or I should say neither one of these, the Diamondbacks don't strike out enough for me, and I'm not going to play a chalky Pfaadt. But, man, how could you play these Reds? They've just been scuffling so much. So this game's a complete cross-off for me. I won't be going here tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Cross off for me. Really don't have any interest. Obviously, you can play Corbin Carroll. The dude's a complete stud, but he is 5,700 up at the top against a guy that does have good strikeout stuff. I mean, 31% of the season, right around 31%. But Hunter Green, he throws hard. He throws fastballs, and if you get a hold of one, you don't have to do much for it to leave the yard. So you can definitely home run hunt against Mr. Hunter Green. Next game, we have 2 games left. Again, if you guys are watching, hit that like button. We're sitting at 48 likes, about 190 people watching. A little hurtful there. Let's see if we can get home to about 115 likes. If we get 115 likes, I'll tell you what, I'll give you away the top 2 ranked pitchers, top 2 ranked hitters over here. And our guy Keith Hall is updating everything out there live from Philly, probably nearby. Mr. Hamwich, I saw he said he's with Mr. Plug. Plug is watching too out there. So good luck to you guys on Sunday in that final. Sucks that the final is on a Sunday baseball, but hey, what are you going to do? Enjoy that time at the game tonight. 2 games left on the slate. We have the Royals heading into Seattle, face Bryce Miller. Brady Singer on the mound. Singer has been pretty good, but mostly at home for these Royals. Royals 3.5 implied run total. Mariners sitting right close to 4.8, 4.9 right now for the Mariners. Mariners can hit some power. Get Singer here, who's not a great strikeout guy overall, especially on the road. Do you have any interest in some of these Mariners as a late night hammer? And then any of these Royals for you, Hamwich?
Yeah, another game that's a cross off for me. I mean, Bryce Miller, I would have interest in him, but he doesn't get above 85 pitches, and you're looking at 5-6 innings, max for him. So that limits his upside, in my opinion. So no Bryce Miller for me. I really do like him. I just wish he could get up to 100 pitches. That's just the way they treat these Mariners pitchers. I'd be out on him. And no Royals bats for me. And they strike out at almost a 30% clip on the road, right around 26% clip on the road versus righties. And then no Mariners for me. I mean, Brady Singer, not a big strikeout guy, but he limits damage. And the way this Mariners team is built, there are tons of strikeouts, tons of power. In this ballpark, I'm going to be out on this game completely.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. I'm not really going to sign up to play any of these bats. Mariners just strike out too much for me. I think Singer wouldn't be the worst play at 6,900. He is still pretty cheap. Much rather play Singer than I would. Who's the guy at 7,400 right above that we were talking about? Dane Dunning. I'd much rather drop down from Dane Dunning and just go and play Brady Singer. If that's the case, if you fall in that price range, save $500 there, because I do like Singer better than I like Dane Dunning. Still don't love it. So off this game completely for bats. Last game of the slate here, we have the Atlanta Braves. Shocker, I'm not slobbing on these Braves, telling you to sack the Braves, always the Braves, yada, yada, yada. It is still the best baseball team in baseball, best offense, in my opinion. Obviously, there's some good teams there, like the Dodgers, things like that, are making a run. But 1 through 9, these guys are always in play. Personally, I'm under on the Braves here tonight, so that means they're going to break the slate. But it is out in San Francisco, not the greatest hitting park. They do face a pretty good pitcher here in Logan Webb overall. Obviously, Spencer Strider on the one side. I think this is more of a pitcher's duel in this game. Do you see any offense spots here to target?
Yeah, I don't think you should play offense, and I think you should go to sleep and rest easy. Logan Webb's a good real-life pitcher. He'll limit the damage. He should limit the damage. Ballpark weather tonight it favors the pitchers as well, so no Braves for me. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing. It's similar to the Rangers. You can always play the Braves, and they could always go off, but I'm out tonight on them. And then Spencer Strider is up there for me. Just looking at this Giants team at home, though, versus right-handed pitching, they don't strike out, Nate. So, I mean, to get 12-8, like I said earlier, you're going to need 40 DK points, and that'd be tough to do. It looks like it's going to be tough to do against this team. So I'm going to lower my expectations on him and bump up Singa to number 1. So we're lockstep there, Nate. Singa's number 1 for me as well. Lowering Spencer Strider down to number 3 for me below C, Steven.
Yeah, I do like Spencer Strider, but man, it was a price point thing for me. And then, yeah, the top 5 hitters all basically 15% or under in terms of strikeouts, right around 15%. But man, Spencer Strider could strike out the back half of that lineup 3 times each. So anytime you could do that, I mean, 30%, 25%, 50%, 31% for the back half of that lineup. So I still think he can get it done. And obviously Spencer Strider can strike anyone out, but it's more of a price point thing for me. No bats in this one. I do think both pitchers are good. Spencer Strider, obviously an elite pitcher. And then Logan Webb, I think is a good real life pitcher for sure. Can limit these Braves who've been scuffling as of late. That's going to do it. That's all 12 games on the slate. Let's go ahead and give the people, like we always do, your favorite low-owned pitcher call, low-ish owned pitcher, I should say, and then we'll jump into the home run calls. Where are you going at the pitcher position? How much?
Yeah, low owned for me on DK would be Brady Singer against these Mariners. I just like what Singer's done over his last I'd say 5 starts. I mean, his last start out was rough. So if you take that one out, I mean, you're looking at 26, 16, 28, 22. Give me Brady Singer at 6,900 to get in the 20s again tonight against this Mariners ball club.
Yeah, I'm going up at 8,500. I talked about this the whole time. The cease pivot for me is Mr. Yu Darvish against my Milwaukee Brewers. I think he can get it done here in Milwaukee. I think we see a little pitcher's duo there between Darvish and Woodruff. I'm off the bats in that game on both the pitchers here. So I like Yu Darvish at 8,500 to post a nice score here against the Milwaukee Brewers. That's going to do it. Let's go ahead. It's time. It's the Friday fireworks. It's the Friday home run calls live from Philly. Where are you going? How much home run call?
Oh, this one's almost too easy. You can go ahead and take this to the bank. Go downstairs to the live casino in Philly. Take it to the book. Give me Max Muncy going yard in Fenway tonight, taking Cutter Crawford deep. You can go ahead and take that to the bank.
All right. Max Muncy. Well, I'm going to go with another guy up there. I'm going the lefty in that Fenway game as well. I'm going to the other side, Rafael Devers up at the top, third base, 5,600. He's going deep off Lance Lynn, not once, but twice tonight. That's going to do it. We appreciate everyone in here, Butthole. Hopefully, Mr. Dane Dunning gets the job done for you. We the people, I see you in here. B-Day narrative, too, for Max Muncy. That's a little extra. Go ahead and double your unit on Mr. Max Muncy to hit a home run. Nah, we're kidding. Gamble responsibly. Keith Hall's in the chat, locking in Nizer. You guys enjoy the game out there in Philly. How much? Have some good time. Share some laughs. Have some good drinks. Good luck in everyone's contest tonight. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back. Probably Monday we'll be back. Maybe Sunday morning we might do another live show. Not decided yet, but Hamwich out there traveling at the live final. They're going to get locked in for that live final. So probably back on Monday. We appreciate y'all. Have a great weekend. Good luck in your contest like always. That's going to do it for Hamwich. I'm Nades. We'll catch you guys next time.